All right, good afternoon, everyone. It is Wednesday, August 13th, and this is a housekeeping and language cleanup between JESPA and the district, Jeffco Public Schools. And we are discussing just a few article pieces of language that were either missing, didn't get moved appropriately, that there's some kind of language adjustment that we need to make. And so while we will discuss a few different articles throughout our conversation this afternoon, there are a couple in Article 6 and Article 7 that Jen will start with. And then it sounds like there are a couple of articles that Darcy would like to also note as potential language cleanups that we need to make. And so I will go ahead and turn it over to Jen.
Perfect. Thank you, Amanda. Do we need to do a round of introductions since we're live?
I was wondering the same thing. We can.
I'm Jen
It'll
Christensen.
take 2 seconds.
Okay. I'm Jen Christensen. I'm the Director of Labor Relations.
Darcy Hassler, JESPA Bargaining Chair.
Amanda Perazio, Chief Human Resource Officer.
Xander Kashub, JESPA President.
Vicki Flores, JESPA staff. Sarah, go ahead. We'll see if we can hear you.
It's Smith, preschool.
Great. All right. So we'll go ahead and start. Our first cleanup item is going to be Article 6. So let me get my screen shared here. Can everybody see my screen? Yeah. Okay, great. So this will be Jeffco Mike 813 of 2025. This is our compensation article. When on May 27th, 2025, JESPA had proposed adding step 9 to the wage schedule. At that time, we struck through this language and inadvertently did not add back in 6-1-7, which stated contingent upon annual negotiations, an employee hired on or before April 1st and who is on the 8th step of the wage schedule will receive an increase of 2.5% of the 8th step as a career increment on August 16th during the 11th year of continuous service. An employee hired after April 1st and who is on the 8th step of the wage schedule will receive an increase of 2.5% of the 8th step as a career increment to August 16th after completion of their 11th year of continuous service. We did add this back. That was not our intent, was to strike through this original language as this was originally struck through by JESPA because they were adding the step 9. Neither team discovered this until we started reviewing, and so we would like to add that back into the contract. The other thing is under pay frequency, which is 6110. We were asked to provide a definition of accelerated pay. And when we did that, I inadvertently mentioned that this was an option to our employees. We do not have the mechanism here in Jeffco to offer that accelerated pay to our employees. They are automatically enrolled into accelerated pay, and this has been going on since I believe 2 years now. So we are just defining it. We have been doing it. It is not a new practice or process. So what it will say, if approved, new ESPs hired or rehired will receive accelerated pay. This means providing new employees who start between the 16th and 26th of the month an additional paycheck issued on or around the second day of the following month. New employees hired or rehired between the 27th and 15th of the month will receive their first paycheck on the standard monthly pay cycle, which occurs the last working day of the month. So that is what we would like to propose instead of what was there. And I believe, and then in 6-7 in bilingual pay, we did find this also. When we had originally provided annual salary as reflected, it was struck through by JESPA and hourly wage was included. However, at that time of the JESPA negotiation bargaining time, that happened somewhere around May 27th, it was not presented to Jeffco that was being changed to hourly wage. So we would like for it to, we're proposing again to have it say annual salary as reflected in ESS. The reason that we're asking for this is because it's easier for our ESS system and no longer a manual process. And so it's the same thing. It's just the way that we're reading it to ensure that we have the right steps that will work in our system.
Jen, when you say it's the same thing, do you mean the amount is
Yes,
the same?
The amount is the same. Yes. Thank you, Amanda, for clarifying. I wanted to make sure that that was all of them, and I do believe that was it in Article 6. Do we have any questions?
Yes.
Okay.
So in terms of adding back in the provisions for step 8, we're in agreement and can TA that portion.
Perfect.
We'd like to talk more about the verbiage for the accelerated pay.
Okay.
And then the bilingual pay, you say it's the same, but I want to make sure that that's not lump sum, that it shows up even though it says annual salary, because some people are paid hourly and their monthly wages or salary are going to vary, but it's going to show up on each monthly check. Is that correct?
That is correct.
So I just want to make sure that for anybody listening, what that actually means.
Yes. Let me just make sure that that is true while we're getting back. Amanda, can you check to make sure that that will be on every check? I do believe that that's the case, Darcy, but I want to make sure before we accept that.
Yeah, that's my understanding as well, but I will I will check with Laura. Laura or Darcy, Jen?
Probably Laura.
Okay.
And Darcy, do you want to work on that language right now while we're just on Article 6, or do we want to?
I think that just makes sense.
Okay, so what would you like to propose?
There was, when we met and discussed, there was something about each month, but it doesn't look like it's there now. Can you do me a favor and change it from 100% to 150? Sorry, the view. I can see it, but I can't read it.
I can't change anything from
That,
100%
yes.
to 100%.
How about 150%
Got
around
it.
the world?
150, yes, thank you.
Okay. Because I know when we discussed yesterday, it was back and forth, and I just want to make sure what we have.
So we did put in the second day of the following month, not each month.
Following month. New employees, hired, rehired. Okay, I think that makes sense to me. I know when we read it before, we had problems also with the second sentence and the amount of words.
Yep. I think we fixed it to present today in a way that made more sense.
Can I ask a kind of clarifying intent question behind for this one? So when I read this and I see the word new kind of throughout, my brain goes, oh, so we're saying that this is only for new employees. When the word rehired comes back in, are we saying that rehired employees are considered new? Because there are other parts of our CBA that kind of the guaranteed steps after, before you're gone for 36 months piece, the probationary piece. Because if you're rehired if you change your job, let's say from a custodian to a food service worker, are you then a new employee? I think we need to get some clarity on who actually is eligible for this, because the words new and rehired are a little bit confusing.
Right, and we can strike out new, because when you get rehired into the district, it depends on when you're being rehired into that position. And if you're in a prorated position, you're still going to go into this accelerated pay, because we don't want you to wait for that
Right.
amount. So we can get rid of new here.
I think that would be good and just more clear.
Oh, well. And then here we can put here.
And I don't believe that this would apply to transfers. So if you have
No.
no break in service, I don't think you get.
Please enter. Please hold while I try to connect you.
Versions of that. So help, Drew, help, Mayday. So let's see if he comes on.
So we're all okay with this part, even though we're not supposed to be talking.
Sorry about that. The video conference machine here reset, so you're good to go and live now.
And we're back.
Thank you.
And we're back. So we have, for those of you who are watching live, we had a little bit of a glitch with our live streaming. So we were talking about this 6110-1. We have updated the words just a little bit that say ESPs hired, rehired will receive accelerated pay. This means employees who start between the 16th and 26th of the month will receive a partial paycheck issued on or around the second day of the following month. Employees hired, rehired between the 27th and 15th will receive their first paycheck on the standard monthly pay cycle, which occurs the last working day of the month.
I think we're
All
fine with
right.
that.
Just a quick note on the bilingual pay. I got a response, and it will indeed be annual salary, 5% of annual salary divided by 12. And so it will be paid over 12 months, not just in a one lump sum.
And I know salary is a word that's thrown around a lot, and we're not salary. Is there a way to change it to annual wages, or is that not a conversation to have?
We could. So what it's doing is taking the hourly wage, multiplying it by the number of hours scheduled, multiplying that by the number of days worked in this that particular ESP's category, and determining an annual wage. We can say annual wage if you'd prefer. And so it's just a simpler process. It also, if somebody doesn't work on a day, like if they take a sick or personal day, technically they would still be getting paid for it because we're not removing all of those non-worked days. So,
Can you scroll to it? The language for bilingual, Jen, or whoever has it open.
and if it would be helpful, even if in parentheses, since annual salary doesn't always make sense to ESPs, we could also always say hourly wage times hours worked and days worked, or times hours scheduled and days worked, or across days worked, if that would be helpful.
I mean, I think for a couple of years now, we've been trying to reframe us as not, because we aren't salaried.
Right.
So I think, when we shifted it used to be called the salary schedule, right? So now we have a JESPA or ESP wage schedule. I think there has been an intentional shift to have that kind of consistency. So I think having the annual wages would be just in line with that interest of ours.
Jen, do you have any concerns about changing it from annual salary to annual wages?
I am not positive if that helps our manual process or not. So we would have to possibly caucus and work on that. And maybe we can work on that while we're presenting some other things, just to make sure that wouldn't affect, because what we're trying to do is help that manual process. As you all know, as we do manual, there's room for mistakes and overpayments, underpayments, and we just don't want to do that to our employees. So let's just see what we can do.
Sounds good.
Okay, so I'm going to move on to Article 7. So I believe we're okay now with 617. We're in agreement with that, as well as this pay frequency, correct? We're just up for the bilingual. Okay, great.
Correct.
Perfect. Awesome. Okay, and then in Article 7, this is for our benefits. This will make this Jeffco Delta for today's date. And the correction, or what we would like to present, is workers' compensation. When they began looking at our CBA, they realized that what we had written in here was not what they're actually doing. We do not have a risk management benefit plan. We actually follow, in accordance with the Colorado Workers' Compensation, the Colorado Division of Workers' Compensation guidelines. So we don't have a plan. There isn't a plan that we follow. Those are the guidelines. So what we would like to propose is this section say, an employee who suffers illness or injury that is job related shall have leave considered via the workers' compensation process managed by the Risk Management Department and in accordance with the Colorado Workers' Compensation Act. Any such leave will be paid in accordance with the Colorado Division of Workers' Compensation guidelines. Employees may request to supplement lost time benefits using accrued leave, sick, personal, paid, or vacation. So Vicki, you had questions yesterday regarding the risk management benefit plan. There isn't a specific plan like we do have with our health insurance. We just follow the guidelines of the Colorado Workers' Compensation division. So is there something else that we could provide to you that
just maybe clarify for us, because when we bargained this language in, it was just meant to model what was happening in the district and pulled from policy, which said that, I believe. And that policy isn't there anymore. So when the district says we are self-insured, that indicates to us that there's like a self-insured plan or guidelines for how the district handles self-insuring. But
okay. We can also look for that and get clarification on that. And again, you know, if anything, and we have to revert back to original language here, that's fine as well. We just really would like to propose what's really going on in our district.
Yeah, we just want to also make sure that when we bargain this, if there was a benefit plan that has changed and now there's not, then, or if there was a plan and it went away, that if it were providing benefits to injured workers above and beyond what the state requires, that we would know that before we agree to it. So that's why we were like, well, it says there was a plan. Oh, we just want to see it and compare it to the Division of Workers' Comp guidelines that the state has to make sure we know what we're agreeing to.
Okay. Let me see what we can get for you. To, and we might have to caucus to get that, but yeah, you're welcome. All right, that's all we had for our cleanup, I do believe.
Okay.
So I'm trying to get to where I can stop sharing. Okay.
There you go.
Mercy, I think you're up.
Sorry,
Xander,
muted.
You gonna share, Xander?
Yeah, I'm getting there.
Okay.
Darcy, if you want to start us
talking.
off and I can get there.
Okay, comparing our association rights article, there was under meet and confer a sentence that stated the district agrees to meet and discuss with the association any proposed changes in education support staffing ratios. On January 7th, we struck through meet and discuss and proposed negotiate, and then added that this needs to move to a new article. So that move to a new article was at the same time. That sentence has not made it to any new articles. We checked staffing, the new staffing article, the new recognition article, and it didn't make sense to go anywhere else. Checked Article 4. It wasn't there either. So we proposed moving it to under conducting negotiations, adding it here in the district will engage in ongoing negotiations that may include but not limited to adding any proposed changes in education support staffing ratios. I'll just say it was really fun when I typed in the word ratio. I'd had no idea how many words included the word ratio. Like
You want to
upper.
just, Xander, do you want to carry on and just show the proposed changes to the rest of the timeline
Yep.
article while we're here?
Yep, I'm happy to do that.
Article.
So we had, when we met to do some housekeeping yesterday, we noticed that in Article 325, in our negotiations timeline language, there was a lot of, I want to say, like conflicting or just not accurate language given our 3-year reopener language and the successor agreement language for 6 years. So we're proposing these changes in Article 325. So negotiation dates for a scheduled reopener or successor agreement will be scheduled by October 5th of those years. 3252, negotiations will be conducted at mutually agreed at mutually agreed, oh my goodness, negotiations will be conducted at mutually agreed to times and places, provided that the first meeting of a scheduled reopener or successor agreement shall be held no later than March 1st of those years. In 3253, the parties shall attempt to reach an agreement by May 31st of the year of scheduled reopener or successor agreement. And then in 326, we struck each year at the beginning. So it reads, the board and JESPA, through their representatives, shall jointly develop written procedures for negotiations at the first public bargaining session of a scheduled reopener or successor agreement negotiations. So I guess the intent behind this also, there is language that we agree to where we are either party has the ability to reopen if desired because of if the financial implications give us a reason to. So we wanted to just be clear that this language in this article is for the scheduled reopener or successor agreement. It wouldn't necessarily hold any, I guess, given the timeline of when the financial data is released, we don't want those other off-cycle reopeners, if they happen to be subject to these articles, if that makes sense. So that's our intent. Any questions on that?
Not from me. Jen, do you have any questions? Okay.
No, I do not.
Okay, and that's it for what we're going to be bringing today.
So I don't have any problem with any of the language that you just presented, Xander. I will tell you the piece that got moved from Article 7 into this article, that's definitely going to be a concern for us. And I would say the reason why is because in Article 3X, in the staffing article, we wrote in this language and we've agreed to it. While no minimum staffing levels are guaranteed, the district will identify appropriate staffing metrics, such as ratios of education support professionals to students or other operational benchmarks based on the unique requirements of each classification within the bargaining unit. So it's almost in contradiction to us agreeing that no minimum staffing levels will be guaranteed.
So I don't think they conflict. I see what you're saying, Amanda, but what we see in this is that it's if there are major proposed changes. So let's say the school district proposes, let's say we lose funding for special education paraeducators and the law changes. Something crazy happens and we can no longer have any one-on-ones and we have to eliminate. We would say that a proposed change would require us to negotiate. And negotiation doesn't mean anything other than we have to talk and come to some agreement for how to handle it. It doesn't mean we have to
I think it's
it's one side or the other. So I think it's like, for us, it's the major changes in ratios.
Yeah, I think so. That's the word that's throwing me off. I don't mind negotiating regarding like proposed changes to education support staffing. Like if all of a sudden we had to eliminate all bus assistants, which God forbid that ever happen, because I think they're essential. It's the ratio part that I'm like, is there something? Either could we say any proposed changes in education support staffing? And take out ratios just because we don't really have anything that's ratios in stone. There are some things that it alludes to. I mean, obviously preschool has specific ratios. FNS has meal equivalency or meals per labor hour. Like some of those things are in there, but the ratios themselves are ever changing and evolving, I feel like.
Could we maybe take a quick, like, 5-10 minute caucus on
Yeah.
each side, so we can maybe discuss this? And then I think there is something y'all said you might need some time too. So maybe if we can take 10 minutes here.
I have a quick suggestion before we caucus on the bilingual pay.
Okay.
To use the words annualized wages or projected annual wage to get at this is what we're like based on how you said it, Amanda. So a projected or an annualized wage, and then maybe adding in something about divided by 12 or monthly, divided in monthly. The one question that I had on that was for like parapros that are paid 10 months versus 12 months. I believe their bilingual stipend is divided by 10, not
Good
divided
point.
by 12, but just to double check to make sure we get that wording right.
Okay, and I did also confirm with Lara, it is the hourly rate times their FTE equivalency times 8 times the days worked calendar.
Yeah.
I don't know why times 8.
I think it's the FTE times 8, maybe.
Oh, yeah, because it would be
0.75
yeah,
times
0.75 times 8. That makes sense. Okay.
So maybe the formula is better, maybe figuring out a word to say that means that, but
Okay.
that's all.
And I'm pretty sure you're right that it, I mean, makes sense that if they're not prorated, that it is over 10 months, but I'll confirm that as well.
Perfect.
Okay, so 10-minute caucus. Can Drew
How-
put us on?
I was just going to say, let's come back.
All right.
And we're back.
We're back, everyone. Okay, who wants to go first?
I'll start. So on the Article 3, I'm not sharing now. Thank you, Xander. So we're amenable to removing the word ratio as you proposed, and just, hey, any proposed changes in education support staffing. We're amenable to that, to TA that. Can't hear you, Amanda.
Sorry, I my little thing keeps moving around. Jen, Jen and I just talked about this. Jen, are you good with that? I mean, I think honestly, that's one of like the major things of the whole negotiated agreement is education support staffing. So it makes sense to me.
And then the dates and how we proposed the scheduled, however it says it below, Xander, the scheduled reopeners and the successor agreement.
Yeah, I think
that
that
make sense?
makes complete sense.
Yeah, I like how that was worded. Thank you for doing that for us. I'm glad that we caught that. So down below in the confer and meet, I just want to make sure, are we saying that annual negotiations, that's what negotiations will be, what we are including in negotiations? Is that what I understood?
Sorry,
Down below.
You're saying from the old article on meet and confer that was in Article 2
Right.
that we just moved from?
Yes.
Yeah, we
So
basically struck everything from the meet and confer section except
Okay.
for that and agreed to negotiate that part on staffing. So I think the meet and confer shouldn't live anywhere anymore.
okay, because
Is
I
that
think
right?
that meet and confer is still in Article 2. Let me share my screen.
Okay, thanks.
So let me do this. So yes, we struck it out here. And then down here, it came back. So I don't know. It's here.
Oh, I see.
So we didn't so we didn't fully strike the language. It's still here. So I'm wondering, does that belong in staffing, or are you, I just want to make sure I understand why we're moving it to the staffing side.
I don't think we're moving to staffing, we're moving it to negotiations. Because the key word instead of meet and discuss, it was negotiate.
Okay, so
which
we
is
are
why
moving,
we're putting it in negotiations.
so we're going to put it in Article 3.
Does that make sense?
Yes. Just wanted to make sure I understood what we were doing here.
And you're right, meet and confer is there, but that's, yeah, the whole tone changed instead of meet to negotiate.
Okay, I'm sorry, I was just a little confused and I wanted to make sure I understood before I agreed that I agreed. Because here, yeah, I was just confused. So thank
It's
you for
okay.
explaining
It's okay.
that. Thank you. Thank you.
Is that
That answers my question. So now I agree.
okay?
So we did change up Article 6 for the bilingual pay, and we changed it to 5% increase to their annual base compensation, including holidays, as reflected in ESS. And we can say reflected in job, whatever, because we're afraid that as reflected in ESS. ESS is only going to be here for one more year, so maybe we state something else here. So, Amanda, that's what we copied over. That's what was, yeah.
I think if you just removed as reflected in ESS, it would still have the same meaning, right?
I think so, yeah, because I mean, the calculation that I described to you previously is exactly how it is figured, and that's what is input into the system to determine or identify should an individual need to pull like an annual salary statement if they wanted to apply for a loan or something like that. That's where that is reflected. And so we're just trying to simplify it by saying it's a 5% increase to that and not to their individual hourly wage, even though technically it's the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
So you want me to go ahead and remove this? So instead it will just say are eligible to receive a 5% increase to their annual base compensation, including holidays.
That makes sense to me. Rest of the team?
Amanda, do you want to make sure that that's going to work real quick? I think it will work, right? That's what they told us to do.
Yeah, that's exactly what they told. That
Okay.
was literally the exact language. The only other alternative is if you want to add in the a calculation, if that would be helpful.
I don't think so.
Okay, great. Wonderful. And then Article 7 for workers' compensation. So I've been talking with Julie Tollison and our new Director of Risk Management, Emily Drake. And it has, they are stating that it has always been that risk management has been following law. That's what our district has to do. They have to follow the Colorado Division of Workers' Compensation guidelines. The one thing that we do that goes above and beyond what they are saying what their guidelines is that we're giving an opportunity for our employees to also supplement using their accrued leave. So that is what we are doing above and beyond those guidelines. But other than that, that's what we've been doing, and how we've been paying out is exactly what there's nothing in our self-insured documents other than we have to follow the guidelines based off of those. Is that going to answer your question?
I believe you. We believe you. I think we just, if we're saying that there's a plan, we'd want to review the plan.
There is no plan.
As we agreed to. You just said whatever you said was the documents, the self-insured documents.
Oh, I don't think, yeah, we can ask for them to provide that to us.
Yeah, like where is it written currently? And when we agreed to risk management benefit plans, it was in policy. And so we just want to make sure we know what we're agreeing to.
Yeah, absolutely. And let me, I'm going to see if I can download, because we found the old policy. So let me see if I can somehow download this or print it. I'm just trying to, and we can get that to you. So what it says, I will get this to you, and then we'll go from there. And let me know what we need to share with you. I can't get it printed at this very moment.
So a proposal that maybe we could make is that we're happy to consider an update or an MOU, but maybe give us some time just to understand the plan or what we had agreed to when we bargained this and what's changed now, if that's okay, to keep it as is. And then if there's a reason to have an MOU after we have some time, that would be good.
So we will.
And by keep it as is, Vicky, you're talking about reverting to original language, correct?
Yes, thank you.
Yeah, and our risk management department did say like it's fine if we can't change it right now because they noticed it after bargaining was completed, and if we need to, like you said, Vicky, either write an MOU or just fix it in the next cycle. Technically, she said there's no difference. It's just like more accurate to say what we proposed, but she said it's fine.
Yep. So we'll just put it right back, and I have done that. So it will remain the same. I think those were the only things we had. Did you want me to show that I've changed that on our end?
I think it's fine. We'll sign off. Yeah.
The only thing that we
Perfect.
did change, and that was in our session yesterday, was added the apostrophe behind workers, and a same thing here. That was the only change that we made yesterday, because that was not the right way to, and right here as well. So
Plural possessive.
yes.
Did you have any other ones, Darcy? Any other articles?
I don't think
Is there
so.
anything else on numbering that you caught after the fact, Darcy?
There was, and Amanda and I have gone back and forth, and we have an email, and she's corrected things. It's
Okay.
just sometimes missing an A or just teeny tinies that she corrected, and it's documented in an email and updated the TAs and the master document
Okay, so just proofreading and
with comment.
okay.
Absolutely, just proofreading.
All right, so we'll send you the Article 3. You send us this article and update the TAs, and we'll get ready for ratification.
Fantastic. We'll get those sent over to you right away on our end for the 6. Well, really, we don't have anything in 7 now, but just in 6. And then if you guys can get us 2, and I think that was it, 2. So, all right.
Sounds good. Thank
Thank you.
Thanks, everyone.
Have a
All
good day.
All right. Bye-bye.
You too.